What up, everybody? Um, so I think what I'm going to do for now is, for this video, is kind of read out and show my book that I started working on um, about dolphins in captivity. I know that it has been a hot topic for a while, and there's some good information out there that I think that a lot of people would really like to know. It's still in a huge work in progress, not even close to being done yet. But and I have a lot of editing to do, making it sound a little more professional for at least chapter 4. But we'll get into that in a minute. The reason why that I put it for Don Schwartz is under pen name. Although I'm probably gonna change Don, but so this is my title for now, The Price of Entertainment, The Suffering of Dolphins and Orcas. So let's get into the introduction. Imagine being confined to a small room for an entire life with little to no access to natural sunlight, fresh air, or open space. Imagine being cut off from your family and social group and forced to perform unnatural and repetitive tasks on a daily basis. For many captive dolphins and orcas, this is their reality. The issue of dolphin captivity has become an increasingly controversial topic in recent years, with concerns raised about the welfare and ethical treatment of these highly intelligent and social animals. From SeaWorld to marine parks and aquariums around the world, the use of captive dolphins in entertainment and educational programs has sparked debate about the morality of using animals for human amusement. This book aims to provide the mythological and more modern heroic stories, exploring the various ethical, scientific, and welfare considerations that come into play. We will delve into the history of dolphin captivity, examine the impact of captivity on the physical and psychological well-being of these animals, and discuss the implications of using dolphins in entertainment and other human-driven activities. By shedding light on the hidden world of dolphin captivity, I hope to raise awareness about the suffering of these remarkable animals and inspire change for the better. Join me on this journey into the complex and controversial world of dolphin captivity. Chapter 1: Guardians of the Sea. Tales of Dolphins Saving Lives. Let's delete that. In the vast depths of the sea, a mesmerizing connection between humans and dolphins have woven throughout history. This chapter delves into the captivating tales of dolphins as guardians of the sea, recounting their remarkable acts of saving lives and shedding light on the challenges faced by their wild counterparts. From ancient times to modern encounters, these stories paint a vivid portrait of the incredible bond shared between humans and these magnificent marine creatures. We will discuss how we take advantage of these creatures for our own personal gain. In the approximate era of the 8th century BCE, the deity Apollo embarked on a quest in his pursuit of a divine oracle. This journey led him to Mount Parnassus near Delphi, where he encountered a formidable python. In a twist of fate, the python, seemingly in the act of defiance, denied Apollo access to the coveted oracle. This prompted the deity to take action and bring about the python's demise. Following the python's defeat, Apollo undertook a period of purification spanning 8 years. During this time, he sought to clean himself for the consequence of this pivotal event. Upon successfully completing his purification ritual, Apollo assumed a mortal disguise, making a significant transformation in his divine journey. Recognizing Apollo's elevated status, local merchants extended their hospitality to him. During a treacherous sea voyage, Apollo miraculously turned into a dolphin, saving the merchants from a violent storm. Grateful for his intervention, the merchants agreed to follow Apollo to his temple and serve as priests, further solidifying his enduring influence. In the ancient period spanning the 8th to 7th centuries BCE, Dionysus, the deity of wine and pleasure, embarked on a journey along the coastal regions of what we now know as modern-day Italy. In a twist of fate, he became the target of abduction by a group of pirates who mistakenly believed him to be a wealthy individual, and attempted to hold him hostage for a potential ransom. However, their efforts to subdue Dionysus proved to be futile, as he skillfully liberated himself from their captivity. This act of liberation set in motion a remarkable occurrence. Vines began to grow vigorously, enveloping the pirate ship and entwining its oars into a lush embrace. Confronted by the supernatural spectacle, the pirates were overcome with terror and a desperate bid to escape their pending doom, leaping into the watery depths below. In an act of remarkable compassion, Dionysus was moved to extend mercy to the ill-fated pirates. He enacted their rescue from the brink of drowning through a miraculous transformation, changing them into graceful and agile dolphins, thus granting them a second chance at life. In the 600 BCE, Iron, whose lineage traced back to Apollo, found himself in a situation reminiscent of Dionysus' encounter with pirates. Arion was celebrated for his mastery of the lyre and was sailing near Sicily when he became a victim of maritime piracy. The marauding pirate seized his wealth, setting the stage for a remarkable turn of events. An unexpected twist, the pirates, just before Aaron faced open sea, offered him a final chance to showcase his musical talents on the lyre and with his voice. Astonishingly, Aaron's melodious performance cast a spell, capturing the attention of a nearby pod of dolphins. Consequently, as Aaron descended to the deep waters, it was the dolphins who orchestrated his rescue, ensuring his safe return to welcoming shores. Tyrus, the son of Poseidon, was navigating the vast maritime expanse aboard his vessel when an unexpected shipwreck struck. According to ancient accounts, it was Poseidon, the god of sea, who dispatched a pod of dolphins as agents of rescue and salvation. This remarkable rescue gave rise to an artifact of profound historical significance, a commemorative coin. This coin, distinguished by its rich symbolism, features on one side an image of a figure riding a dolphin while brandishing a trident, a powerful emblem. The identity of the central figure has intrigued scholars for years, and two prevailing hypotheses persist. It is believed to represent either Taras himself or the deity Poseidon. Greece's choice of dolphins as its natural emblem has deep roots in its rich tapestry of ancient Hellenic culture. Dolphins held a special place, symbolizing qualities like a passion, hope, and aid, which lent them great symbolic significance. It's crucial to appreciate that this historical context, harming or taking the life of a dolphin was considered a serious offense, punishable by the most severe penalty, death. The fascinating changes in how society have viewed dolphins throughout history prompt significant questions. How has our collective mindset shifted to the point where actions that were once inconceivable, such as harming and killing these revered creatures, are now in some cases seen as socially acceptable? Modern stories. Okay. So I gotta take a minute to get the heating pad as the refill is starting to arise again. And then I will continue on in a moment. This is also why that would never myself narrate a story through an Audible book, which maybe one day I can find someone who might be willing, depending on how successful this thing is, would narrate it, but we'll see what happens. And it's like many writers, sometimes I get faced with motivation. Okay. Well, it's kind of gone down, so continue on for now. One of the captivating stories from maritime history revolves around a remarkable character known as Polaris Jack. Jack, a Rissel's dolphin, played a crucial role in guiding ships through the treacherous waters off the coast of New Zealand. His extraordinary service extended from 1888 to 1912, during which he faithfully guided vessels through the perilous Pelorus Sound, a maritime gateway to the challenging French Pass, a channel that separates the New Zealand mainland from D'Urville Island. The French Pass presents an enduring challenge to sailors due to its powerful tidal currents, which can surge at speeds of up to 8 knots, equivalent to approximately 4 meters or 13 feet per second. During these 24 years, it is an unwavering rule during mariners that if Jack was not present at their celestial guide, or as their celestial guide, it was wise to postpone attempting the passage. In the records of 1904, an unfortunate event occurred when a crew member aboard the SS Penguin fired a shot in Jack's direction. Fortunately, the projectile missed him, allowing Jack to continue his essential role in aiding travelers. Interestingly, this very same year marked a significant milestone in New Zealand's maritime history with the enactment of the nation's first marine protection legislation. However, in 1912, an unexplained mystery surrounded Jack as he inexplicably vanished from the maritime landscape. The exact circumstances of his disappearance remain uncertain. Various theories have emerged, including the possibility of a Norwegian whaling vessel's involvement in his fate. Additionally, a confession surfaced from an individual who claimed to have assisted his father in the regrettable act of taking a dolphin's life after a tumultuous storm. The story of Pelorus Jack serves both as a testament to the remarkable connection between humans and cetaceans and a potent mystery and maritime lures. In the year 2000, as reported by the Orlando Sentinel, a heartwarming story unfolded off of the southern Italian coast in the Adriatic Sea. An Italian boy was sailing with his father when he accidentally slipped into the water, struggling to stay afloat. It was the moment of distress that a well-known local dolphin named Filippo came to the rescue, helping the boy stay above water until help arrived. Another remarkable incident documented by The Guardian in 2004, the story of lifeguard Rob Howe took center stage as Mr. Howe, accompanied by his daughter and her 2 friends, was swimming in the coastal waters of New Zealand when they faced a looming threat in the form of a great white shark slowly approaching their position. An incredible display of solidarity, a pod of dolphins appeared on the scene and formed a protective circle around the swimmers, creating a defensive barrier. Faced with this organized intervention by the dolphins, Mr. Howe, while understandably surprised, acted instinctively and moved away from the immediate danger. The dolphins steadfastly maintained their protective stance until the menacing great white shark eventually gave up its pursuit. With the threat averted, the swimmers safely returned to the shore, while the dolphins, having fulfilled their mission of safeguarding lives, continued their aquatic journey. This incident serves as a shining example of the remarkable and adaptable behaviors exhibited by dolphins when it comes to protecting humans from maritime dangers. In a report by Today in 2007, surfer Todd Indris was savoring a beautiful day off the coast of Monterey, California, when an unexpected and terrifying encounter unfolded. A formidable great white shark, coming dangerously close at a mere 10 to 15 feet away, suddenly lunged at him, launching 3 brutal attacks. Todd was perched on a surfboard, and fortunately the first attack missed its mark. The second strike, however, pierced through his torso, but the surfboard acted as a protective shield, safeguarding his vital organs. Finally, the shark bit into his right leg, resulting in pools of blood dispersing into the water. Amidst this perilous situation, a remarkable event occurred. A pod of dolphins swiftly assembled, forming a protective circle around Todd. Excuse me. This cetacean barrier provided a crucial buffer against the shark's further advances. Buoyed by his unexpected defense, Todd managed to regain his composure and climbed back onto the surfboard. summoning his strength to cut a wave and rode it to safely on the shore. This is supposed to be a different paragraph, so let's fix that. As reported by Macedonian magazine, a fascinating and mutual beneficial relationship has been observed between dolphins and fishermen, especially in especially in environments characterized by murky waters. In this ecological setting, dolphins display unique behavior in where they actively assist fishermen in their quest to catch fish. This assistance involves in strategic maneuvers by the dolphins, which lead to the concentration of fish near the shoreline. When the crucial moment of net catching arrives, the dolphins engage in behaviors such as deep diving or energetic tail splashing. What's truly remarkable is that the empirical evidence has shed light on the significant impact of this interspecies collaboration on fishing outcomes. When fishermen team up with dolphins, they experience a remarkable 17-fold increase in chances of achieving successful catches. Moreover, this partnership results in a 4-fold increase in the quantity of fish caught. This intricate web of interactions between dolphins and fishermen highlights the nuisance dynamics at play within maritime ecosystems. It is revealed that extraordinary adaptability of marine life forms in the pursuit of mutual benefit. The exact motivation behind dolphins and humans in perilous situations remain a subject of ongoing scientific inquiry, categorized by the complexity that defies simple explanation. However, prevailing hypothesis suggests that dolphins' inclination to protect individuals may be rooted in an innate capacity for empathy, a trait akin to their instinctual safeguarding of their own offspring. Dolphins, renowned for the profound intelligence, possess remarkable cognitive abilities. This cognitive prowess includes heightened sensory perception, allowing them to discern environmental cues and assess impending threats. Consequently, when faced with circumstances that warrant intervention, dolphins theoretically possess the capability to recognize and respond to urgency, a behavioral trait in line with their demonstrated ability to sense danger and determine appropriate courses of action. This phenomenon underscores the intricate interplay of biological predispositions, cognitive and adaptability, and ecological dynamics, portraying dolphins as enigmatic yet benevolent participants in the complex realm of human marine animal interactions. Further scientific investigation is essential to unravel the nuanced mechanisms underpinning this extraordinary behavior. Fix that double dots. This is going to be quite a bit, so hold on. Dolphins, as enduring denizens of maritime realm, trace their evolutionary origins back to a temporal expanse spanning approximately 50 to 55 million years ago. Over the course of this extensive evolutionary journey, the emergence of dolphin-human civilization unfolded. Regrettably, within the annals of this coexistence, certain segments of humanity have harnessed dolphins, fueled by the belief in human superiority over other species. The exploitation of dolphins serves as a stark reminder of human greed, a force that has consistently asserted control over different facets of the natural world. It's a lasting story that illustrates the intricate relationship between evolving human societies and the ethical dilemmas that arise when humanity exercises its dominance over the environment. I'm going to get some water real quick and then we'll continue because my throat's getting a little dry. And this will also help with my acid breathing. So I'll be right back. That is better. Alright. I finish putting my blanket over my legs. That way I don't burn myself with my laptop. As well, just while I'm at it, plug my whatever's called a heating pad, because I have a feeling that with all this talking I'm doing, it's going to still make my acid reflux rise up. Life lesson: do not get overweight, because it sucks. Okay, well, this is heating up. Let's continue. The Cove documentary, unveiled in 2009, delivers a stark and deeply unsettling expose of the dolphin hunting practices in Teiji, Japan. Excuse me. In this unflinching portrayal of marine mammal harvesting industry, the staggering annual toll of approximately 23,000 dolphins emerges as a troubling reality. The documentary peels back the curtain on a disturbing process where dolphins are methodically herded into a confined lagoon. Within this orchestrated selection procedure, trainers identify and separate dolphins for transfer to dolphinariums scattered across the globe. Eerily absent from this chilling creation are dolphins not chosen for captivity, clandestinely consigned to a hidden lagoon where their fate takes a dark and grim turn, slaughter and subsequent consumption. This heart-wrenching narrative highlights the poignant aspect of dolphin hunts where the water bears witness to pools of lifeblood, as dolphins desperately navigate their medium in a futile attempt to evade an inexorable and profoundly disturbing destiny. It is noteworthy that since the documentary's release in 2009, there has been a noticeable reduction in the scare of dolphin activities in Teiji. Nevertheless, this practice endures to the present day, with Teiji maintaining a significant role in this disconcerting facet of marine mammal exploitation. As we comfort this poignant narrative, it's worth pondering how humans, a species that emerged long after dolphins, came to believe in our own superiority after these ancient and intelligent creatures. We will dive deeper into the concept of greed in later chapters. So, end of chapter 1. Chapter 2. From the Deaths to the Tanks, a historical journey of dolphin captivity in the U.S. Beneath the surface of heroic tales and the evolution of our understanding, a deeper layer of dolphin and orca narrative unfolds. A chapter marked by human ambition, exploitation, and the enduring discourse of ethics. As we embark on this exploration of the history capturing dolphins and orcas, we enter a complex narrative shaped by the pursuit of knowledge, entertainment, and commercial interests. Within the confines of captivity, we are confronted with the profound ethical questions, the boundaries of our interactions with these highly intelligent creatures, the toll exacted by the captivity, and the moral responsibilities we must acknowledge. By illuminating the historical journey of dolphin and orca captivity, we navigate the curves of our shared past and chart a course towards a compassionate and enlightened future for those remarkable beings. In the chapters ahead, we will delve into the key highlights from the 2013 documentary film Blackfish, further enriching our understanding of this compelling narrative. As vividly depicted in the gripping documentaries The Cove and Blackfish, capturing the dolphins follows a systematic procedure. It begins by coaxing the dolphins towards the shallower waters of lagoons where Expensive nets are strategically employed to limit their escape routes. When the moment to capture arises, a specific method comes into play, involving the use of substantial hoops strategically positioned to encircle the dolphins' heads, effectively hindering their ability to evade capture. Additionally, the dolphins undergo manual guidance, gently directed into slings that facilitate their safe transfer onto maritime vessels. After the dolphins are safely on board these vessels, the journey to distant destinations begin. Sorry, I had a phone call to do or to take. Um, okay, after the dolphins are safely on board these vessels, the journey to distant destination begins. In the past, of these transports were conducted using trains, while modern practices often employ air transportation facilitated by aircraft. This well-coordinated process highlights the complex logistics required for acquiring and relocating captive dolphins, emphasizing the many facets of maritime mammal trade. The practice of capturing wild animals can be traced back to 1861 when it first began at the Boston Aquarium Gardens. This venture was marked by the use of an advanced infrastructure that ingeniously pumped salt water from the Boston harbor to try to create a suitable environment for marine life within the confines of the gardens. During the same period, another significant development can be attributed to the efforts of P.T. Barnum, a well-known figure who founded the P.T. Barnum American Museum in New York City. And quick note, that was also what the circus was named out of, or named after, before it was shut down. So keep that in mind. Some historians suggest that Barnum acquired the initial pair of beluga whales. Beluga whales from the Boston Aquarium Gardens and then moved them to the underground quarters of his museum. Unfortunately, the conditions in this subterranean environment were far from ideal, lacking essential elements like salt water, fresh air, sunlight, and being affected by unhealthy fumes from pipes. These conditions proved to be inhospitable for the captive whales, and tragically, just 2 days after the transfer, the whales succumbed to these adverse circumstances. In response to the unfortunate loss, efforts were made to acquire new whales. P.T. Barnum, known for his resourcefulness, successfully persuaded the authorities of New York City to create an innovative waterline system that extended from the harbor to his establishment. This groundbreaking arrangement allowed for a secure supply of seawater to his facility. In the year 1862, a significant acquisition occurred when P.T. Barnum gained ownership of the Boston Aquarium Gardens, subsequently renaming it the Barnum Aquarium Gardens. However, around 1863, the facility permanently ceased operations, prompting Barnum to orchestrate the relocation of its aquatic inhabitants, including whales, to his museum. This period marked a transformative phase in the history of these marine creatures. However, in the year 1865 marked a tragic chapter in the museum's history, as a devastating fire engulfed its premises. Accounts of this lamentable event reveal that efforts were made to break open the enclosure housing the whales and attempting to extinguish the flames. Unfortunately, this well-intentioned action inadvertently exposed the whales to the intense heat of the inferno, leading to their untimely demise. This distressing sequence of events resulted in the tragic loss of a group of 6 to 9 beluga whales, all unfolding under the watchful eye of P.T. Barnum. Remarkably, despite the setbacks and less than ideal conditions that marred these episodes, Barnum continued to view these endeavors as a form of success. This perspective highlights in the intricate interplay between historical viewpoints and the involving ethical consideration that surrounded the treatment of captive marine mammals during that era. Again, another double period. Let's take that off. During this period, there was a noticeable change in societal attitudes, characterized by a growing disapproval of marine mammal captivity in museums, such as the Barnum Aquarium or Museum. A newly formed shift towards a more appealing and family-friendly type of captivity that gained prominence in the collective awareness. This transformation became evident in the rise of marine parks, represented by well-known institutions like SeaWorld, the Miami Sea Aquarium, and various other aquarium facilities. All of these establishments would later embrace this form of captivity. Despite the unfortunate events that occurred, the capture of dolphins and whales continued into the 1870s, with many of these marine animals intended for placement in zoological gardens and aquarium facilities. Unfortunately, a significant number of these captive creatures met untimely ends during transit, succumbing to the stress and confinement they endured during train transportation. A significant turning point in the world of marine mammal exhibitions occurred in 1938 when the first ocean, later known as Marineland, was established. Upon its opening to the public, this institution witnessed an impressive inaugural attendance of around 30,000 visitors on the very first day. Initially envisioned as a location for printing film reels for Hollywood, Marineland evolved into a hub of showcasing dolphin shows. This transformation marked a crucial milestone in the journey of marine mammal exhibitions and entertainment. In the 1940s, a pregnant dolphin was successfully captured and later gave birth, marking the first recorded instance of a dolphin born in captivity within the walls of marine studios. As the 1950s rolled in, there was an unparalleled surge in the popularity of marine mammal captivity, reaching its zenith as the society increasingly embraced this practice. However, a noticeable change in public sentiment began to emerge during the 1960s. It's worth mentioning that despite this visible shift in attitudes, some portions of the population either continued to support marine mammal captivity or remained indifferent to its ethical implications. This complex interplay between changing public opinion and the enduring acceptance of captivity highlights the multifaceted and evolving discussion surrounding this issue during that time. The founding of SeaWorld San Diego in 1964 marked a significant milestone in the world of marine mammal exhibitions. Despite being relatively new, this aquatic facility drew an impressive and unmatched crowd of around 400,000 visitors in the first year of operation. Since they now continue to thrive and adapt, becoming a steadfast presence in the expansive realm of marine mammal exhibitions today. It stands as one of the foremost largest entities in the sector, maintaining its enduring status. The month of November 1961 marked a significant moment in history of orca captivity. During this period, a notable event occurred with the capture of an orca named Wanda off the California coast, followed by her relocation to marine land of the Pacific and British Columbia. Wanda at this time of capture was estimated to be around 7 years old. However, the optimism surrounding her capture was quickly overshadowed by a tragic turn of events. Sadly, this young orca met an untimely end just days after her arrival at marine land of the Pacific. This unfortunate incident underscored the significant challenges and complexities associated with the early stages of orca captivity. There we go. In the early 1960s, the rise of voices advocating for substantial change signaled the beginning of a shift in societal perspectives on orca and dolphin captivity. This period transition, characterized by a growing desire for change, also carried with it inherent complexities that come with the passage of time. It's important to highlight that during this time, the capturing of wild orcas and dolphins along the Washington-California coast occurred without any comprehensive regulatory oversight. This unchecked practice led to a tragic loss of many orcas during the capture operations. In response to these distressing events, advocates started coming together to push for legislative changes, marking the beginning of a reform era aimed at addressing the systemic issues linked to the capture and captivity of orcas and dolphins. In around In 1965, an unforeseen event unfolded when a fisherman accidentally caught an orca, triggering a chain of events that would profoundly shape the ongoing story of human interactions with orcas. At the center of this crucial moment was Ted Griffin, a visionary with deep longing to connect with orcas. His motivation stemmed from a genuine desire to challenge the prevailing notion that these creatures were inherently dangerous. Although Griffin's intentions were noble, driven by the desire to demystify orcas and promote a more compassionate understanding of them, the methods he used in this pursuit were later to be met with ethical controversy, leaving a lasting impact on history. The orca named Namu during Griffin's care had been captured off the coast of British Columbia and then transported a significant distance of 400 miles to the Seattle Marine Aquarium. In this carefully managed setting, Namu plays a pioneering role as the first orca to undergo extensive training routines, ultimately wowing audiences with his talents and captivating public shows, which featured an array of tricks. While this milestone was significant, it came with consequences. Namu's success sparked a rush of orca captures for captivity, setting in motion a trend that would persist for a considerable period. In October 1965, Ted Griffin embarked on the mission to capture an orca in the waters of Puget Sound, Washington, marking a significant event in the early days of orca captivity. The primary goal of this endeavor was to find a companion for the already acquired orca Namu. It's worth noting that there are accounts indicating that the mother of this newly captured orca had tragically met her demise, being harpooned and fatally injured during the capture process. In a short period of 2 months, the newly acquired orca was transported to SeaWorld San Diego, marking a crucial moment in the orca's life. This orca was given the name Shamu, a combination of Namu, she, to honor the bond between the two captive orcas. The name Shamu would later become iconic, synonymous with orcas featured in marine parks across the company's establishments. Sadly, Namu's life was cut short just a year later, succumbing to a deadly infection. This poignant incident serves as a solemn reminder of ethical challenges entwined with our attempts at interacting with and entertaining these magnificent marine creatures. This highlights the lasting impact of decisions made during this early period in our relationship. Give me a second to get another drink of water. Or another sip of water. On August 8, 1970, a tragic event known as the Penn Cove Capture unfolded, during which 80 killer whales were herded together using large nets and explosives. Sadly, 5 of these magnificent creatures drowned in the nets, their bodies weighted down with rocks and heavy objects to avoid detection. Those who survived would be transported to marine parks. Excuse me. Later, only one orca survived this ordeal and was later known as Tokete, also known as Lolita, or Lolita. And Don Goldsberry was in charge of the hunt, and while he expressed regret for the orcas that lost their lives, he also claimed there was little he could have done differently. It's a stark reminder that these deaths wouldn't have occurred if the capturing had ever taken place in the first instance. In 1971, Washington began implementing regulations and bans on the capture of marine mammals within its waters. SeaWorld expressed objections to these regulations, but attempted to explore opportunities in Alaska where they faced similar restrictions. Eventually, SeaWorld shifted its focus to the waters off the coast of Iceland. On October 21, 1972, the Marine Mammal Protection Act was passed and put into effect. The supporting legislation aimed to prevent marine species and population rates from declining to a critical level where they could no longer fulfill their vital roles within the ecosystem. However, certain exemptions were established, allowing for permits under specific circumstances, such as scientific research. During the period from 1990 to 1995, the Lolita campaign gained movement, it didn't take long before prominent figures like Washington Secretary of State Ralph Monroe and Governor Mike Lowry rallied behind the cause. In 2005, the southern resident orcas were granted protection under the Endangered Species Act. It is important to note that the captive animals were not initially included under these protections. It wasn't until 2015, following petitioning efforts, that Lolita received protection under the Act, making her the first captive killer whale to be granted such legal safeguards. Excuse me. After the astonishing 52 years of enduring captivity in one of the world's smallest tanks for orcas, the Miami Sea Aquarium made a historic announcement on March 30th, 2023, agreeing to set her free. The question that loomed large was whether she would be able to survive in the wild after spending such a significant portion of her life in captivity. Tragically, on August 18th, 2023, she passed away due to kidney issues. Her release into the wild, or a sanctuary pen, which was planned between March 2024 and April 2025, was a dream that remained unfulfilled. The documentary Blackfish shed light on the harrowing experiences of former SeaWorld trainers and the tragic story of Tilikum, an orca captured in November 1983 in Iceland. At the tender age of just 2 years old, Tilikum was taken from his ocean home and initially sent to a facility in Iceland before being relocated to a small marine park known as Sealand of the Pacific in Victoria, British Columbia, a year later. Tilikum, along two other females named Nukta 4 and Haida 2, inhabited the tank where they performed shows for audiences. However, during the night, they were confined to a small, unstimulating pen. This pen measured approximately 20 feet in width and 30 feet in depth. In 1991, Haida 2 had a baby named Tucope, however you pronounce it. Clearly, the small enclosure was not going to be suitable. Following the closure of Sealand of the Pacific, the orcas included Tilikum were acquired by SeaWorld. In 1992, Tilikum and Nootka 4 was transferred to SeaWorld Orlando, and Hadia 2 and Q-Quat was transferred to SeaWorld San Diego. While it's worth noting that, like many others, I used to enjoy visiting SeaWorld as a child. However, at the time, I was unaware of distressing realities hidden beneath the surface. Tilikum eventually reached a size up to 22 feet and weighed approximately 12,000 pounds. He was a regular performer, entertaining audiences almost daily. However, due to conflicts with two other orcas, he was eventually moved to a separate pool where he spent most of his time alone. He would only visit the main pool for a few minutes at a time to perform tricks. On February 20th, 2010, Judge Ken Welsh issued an order mandating a protective barrier between trainers and the orcas at SeaWorld following a trainer's death. Despite SeaWorld's appeal, the decision to implement the protective barrier was upheld and enforced. During the period covered in Blackfish, approximately half of the orcas at SeaWorld had originated from Tilikum. It was also used as breeding male, with the sperm collected to facilitate the reproduction of female orcas. The tragedy struck in 2017 when Tilikum passed away at the age of 36. After the release of Blackfish, California enacted the Orca Welfare and Safety Act in 2016. This legislation aimed to gradually end orca captivity by prohibiting orca breeding and their use of entertainment purposes. It also banned the orca captured and importation of orcas into California. In the same year, SeaWorld announced that the cessation of captive orca breeding, and this act may have played a role in their decision. Chapter 3. Beyond Borders, the Global Complexities, and Dolphin Captivity. Now keep in mind, I'm still kind of working on these next two chapters, so they're not really long, but yeah. Around the world, the grim reality of dolphin captivity knows no bounds, spanning continents and oceans. Beyond the familiar sights of marine parks and aquariums in our own backyards, there exists a wider canvas painted with the shades of exploitation and commerce and ethical dilemmas. In this chapter, we embark on the ethical journey through the distressing landscape of dolphin captivity across diverse countries. Our exploration offers a sweeping panorama of facilities where dolphins leave lives as confinement, from the heart of Asia to the corners of Europe, from the depths of South America to the sunny shores of the Caribbean and beyond. We delve into the myriad approaches to the captivity, influenced by the unique cultures that surround them. We also uncover the collective struggle to redefine humanity's relationship with these intelligent and intricate marine creatures. Revealing the international dimensions of this issue is pivotal, as it helps us grasp the far-reaching consequences of captivity on dolphins and sparks global dialogue aimed at fostering a more compassionate and reasonable coexistence. As discussed in Chapter 1, TG Japan has been a long focal point of dolphin slaughters, but the numbers of dolphins slaughtered have decreased to around 2,000 per season, spanning approximately 6 months. Japan continues to be one of the most prolific countries engaged in these hunts. Importantly, these dolphins are occasionally sanctioned by the Japanese government. The method employed in these hunts typically involves the use of nets to capture live dolphins. Once the dolphins are ensnared, they're driven to shallower waters through a disorienting process that includes banging poles together, creating a cacophony that confuses and frightens the dolphins. The dolphins that remain in Japan often find themselves confined in dolphinariums, of which Japan boasts approximately 70, the highest number of such facilities in any country. I'm going to get another sip of water real quick. I think this has to be the most talking I've done. At least. Yeah. We're close to it. Around 2015, the World Association of Zoos and Aquariums, or WAZA, took action by suspending Japan's membership due to ethical concerns. A significant development occurred when the Japan Association of Zoos and Aquariums, or JAZA, decided to halt the practice of capturing wild dolphins through drive hunts, and also prohibited the sale and export of dolphins from Taiji. This decision led to a few dolphinariums disassociating themselves from JAZA, notably Kazuchi Eri, the head of JAZA. We'll start calling it JAZA, holds the view that capturing wild dolphins is not inherently cruel. While some government officials and fishermen argue that dolphin hunts are rooted in centuries-old culinary traditions, an alternative perspective is offered by Izumi Ishii, a former dolphin hunter. According to Ishii, the practice began as recently as 1969 when mentors started teaching the people Taiji the techniques of drive hunts. It's noteworthy that whaling has indeed been a long-standing practice for many centuries. Japan's continued legality of whaling is often justified under the guise of scientific research. However, this reasoning is called into question when considering that a significant majority of the Japanese population, roughly around 80%, neither consumes dolphin meat nor is aware of its presence in their food. This contrast between government claims and public behavior raises valid concerns about the authenticity of the tradition argument, or at the very least, keeping it alive. In the vast expanse of the East China Sea, a nation often referred to as the Red Dragon stands as one of the world's most ancient civilizations. Yet, in recent years, a concerning industry has been on the rise within its borders, the captivity of dolphins. Russia, situated nearby, was responsible for the first capture of a staggering 13 orcas between the years of 2013 and 2016, as reported by the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, or CITES. What compounds the issue is the absence of local regulations concerning animal welfare in both of these nations, making the task of ensuring the survival and well-being of these orcas and other marine mammals a daunting challenge. Transporting these creatures over long distances can take anywhere from 4 to 5 days, further exacerbating their ordeal. Sorry, give me a second. That's what happens when you talk a lot. But we're almost done. In a significant development in February 2017, China launched its inaugural orca breeding program within the Shandong Ocean Kingdom, an expansive marine complex located in the vicinity of Hong Kong. This aquatic facility, one of the largest aquariums in the world, marked China's entry into the contentious arena of captivity and marine mammal exhibition. According to International Marine Mammal Project, or IMMP, there are 9 orcas being held, 5 of which are males and 4 are females. All of them have been captured by Russia since 2014. Some believe that there are more being held in a facility closed to the public. An alarming revelation in an article published by the China Cetacean Alliance in 2023 shed light on the inadequate conditions endured by the marine mammals in Chengdu and HHA and Polar Ocean World. Within the facility, 6 belugas find themselves confined, with 4 of them forced into participating in the Love for Beluga show, while the remaining 2 are regulated to public display. Furthermore, this facility is home to 5 bottlenose dolphins, with 3 of them embarked for performances and the other 2 subjected to public exhibition. The issue is the unsettling revelation that the dolphin tanks and beluga tanks are interconnected, sharing the same filtration and circulation systems. This arrangement is particularly concerning given the stark differences in natural habitats of the 2 species. Belugas are pelagic animals accustomed to cold waters, while bottlenose dolphins thrive on temperate and tropical environments. This unsettling connection between tanks was also highlighted in the 2019 documentary Long Gone Wild, which drew attention to the ethical concerns surrounding such practices. So I'm still working on that chapter. Chapter 4, it's not tailored to... I just put basic thoughts down. I didn't really combine it or reformat the style of it like the others, but we're going to continue on. Chapter 4, Correlation between Captivity and Physical and Mental Health. We discussed the history of captivity and how these marine mammals were captured. Dolphins and orcas are very, very intelligent and have complex emotions like humans. They have social bondings and tight social groups. To better understand how they feel in captivity, we need to look at the physical and mental issues that arise from the environment. Orcas and dolphins have a complex paralimbic system that controls spatial memory and navigation. The paralimbic cleft processes the emotions of these animals, while the amygdala is responsible for the emotional reactions. That could indicate why they can sense danger and emotions from other species like humans. Flipper was a TV show from 1964 to 1969. The show featured 5 female dolphins named Susie, Patty, Squirt, Scotty, and Kathy. One male named Clown performed to do all the tail walks. Rico Berry, pretty sure I spelled that, I thought I saved that, but Rico Berry was the trainer for Kathy. After Kathy retired from the show, she stayed at the Miami Sea Aquarium. She became so depressed that she killed herself in the hands of Rick. Again, I need to get another sip of water. My throat's becoming really dry. Well, itchy, I should say. She drowned by not coming up for air. In the event, Rick realized that dolphins do not belong in captivity and began to advocate to free the dolphins and stop the brutality against them. In captivity, dolphins and orcas often move around to different parks and different pods. Kalina was an orca and was born in September of 1985. She was the first successfully born and raised orca in captivity. She was born to Katina Winston. As mentioned in Blackfish, she became the first baby Shamu. At the age of 4 years old, she moved to SeaWorld, Ohio. During the night of the move, it was reported that Katina would sit in the corner and would produce long-range vocal calls to Kalina. Katina was clearly upset as she wasn't known to be overly vocal. It is clear that she was depressed because she lost her child. Her tank mates reportedly would come and check on her as Kalina would cry throughout the night. Another sip of water. Orcas live in a matriarch society. They have different languages, behaviors, and different social groups. If an orca is put with a completely different pod, frustration may arise. In 1988, Candu rammed another female named Corky and broke her jaw. Major artery was severed and she bled out. In videos, you can physically see Corky was blowing out blood from her blowhole. On February 1996, Celtic Burn was working at sea and land of the Pacific. She had slipped into the pool and dragged under by the orcas. Eyewitnesses claim all 3 orcas were involved, but Telecom was the one who pulled her down. After being cooped up in a pen all night with 2 females that would tooth rake him, where the act of scraping another orca with their teeth would cause restoration, it was reported that it was an accidental death. As I mentioned in Chapter 2, Telecom was bullied. He would get multiple cuts on him, which caused him to be separated for most of the time. The only interactions he would have would be during shows. On February 24, 2010, Dawn Brancho was doing a relaxing session with Telecom. She had laid on the layout of the pool in very shallow water. Telecom grabbed her forearm and pulled her under. She suffered fatal injuries. SeaWorld claimed that it was a trainer error because she used a ponytail and that Telecom grabbed it. If there was a problem, why wouldn't SeaWorld make her put into a bun before the show, especially if she usually had a ponytail? That's pretty much all I got at the moment. But thank you for watching, guys, or for reading with me. Just let me know what you think. Have a good one.